welcome to Ask Gwen, everyone. Now, caveat here. We have the unique name club here going on. I have Quintana with me, so Win and Quintana. So if you get confused, yeah, just figure it out on your own terms. I'm like, if you get confused, figure it out, you guys, because I'm not explaining the unique name club here. You guys know my name is unique, and unfortunately Quintana's name is unique. Enough about my caveat. I'm going to save my programming announcement to the end of the show, and I'm going to let Miss Quintana take it away.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys giving me some time to talk about some of the things that are important to us here.
Well, you're welcome. And so explain to my fan base more about what you do.
Sure, I'd love to. What I do, I work with the distribution and production team at Think Rich Films. So I'm sure a lot of your listeners are probably familiar with Think and Grow Rich or Napoleon Hill. And what we've done is take the principles and the information in that book and put it in a visual movie format so that it's easier to take in and a little bit more current and relevant. But the principles in that book are just so powerful, and they've helped so many people that we wanted to be able to find a way to get that information out into today's world. We feel like it's an important message for lots of people who need it right now to think about your burning desire and really be cognizant of the words that you're using in and on yourself. So I provide support, customer support in that way for our users who stream the movie. And I also help our production team push the movie out into local companies and theaters and things like that.
So, okay, you guys, if you haven't read the book, Think and Grow Rich, you need to go stop this podcast right now and then at least go find the book. Before you see the movie, thank you. Before you see the movie, you can take the lazy way out. Here, Quintana's not saying take the lazy way out and only watch the movie. Thank you very much. So please stop this podcast and go find that book. And so, when was the book actually written?
The book was written in the 1930s. I believe in 1937 it was published. So there's a little bit of verbiage that's dated, especially for us women. You know, it's not a consideration in the book because it's just not what our world was like at the time. It's very centered around men being successful, whether that's success in the workplace or personal life or what have you. But it's a little hard to read, honestly. It's a difficult read to get through for people who are used to reading something that's more current. And so we actually worked with the Napoleon Hill Foundation to publish an updated Think and Grow Rich book called Think and Grow Rich, The Legacy. Napoleon Hill Foundation has been publishing updated books for a long time, and then they've got Think and Grow Rich, A Woman's Story, Think and Grow Rich, A Latino Story, an African American story, to incorporate, you know, the world as it's been changing since then. So this is a newer publication that's written by John Whitaker with a foreword by Bob Proctor, who Bob's been reading Think and Grow Rich every single day for the last 50 years. So he's one of the leading experts on the book.
Oh, boy. So I was going to say that. I thought they did a women's version of Think and Grow Rich. Mm-hmm. Quintana, can you tell my fan base that is there a women's version of Think and Grow Rich or no?
There is. I believe Susan Lecter wrote the Think and Grow Rich or Women's Story. And you can definitely find all of them at the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Like, they have publications you can purchase and get copies of the book. I think it's called Think and Grow Rich for Women, Using Your Power to Create Success.
Well, you guys, you might just go Google Think and Grow Rich for Women or the original Think and Grow Rich, and then go watch the movie, because that's Quintana's job to decipher Think and Grow Rich into a movie format. And so, Quintana, I have a question for you. If money were no issue, what would you do?
If money were no issue, I would definitely be working with both children and animals. Those are my passions. I don't have any children of my own, but I'm very passionate about education. I don't believe that our education system in the Western world treats children like people. I think that it's very patronizing, and it's very focused on creating employees. And that's certainly great for the 5% of business owners in the world who control the 95% of the income. It's not really great for the other 95% of us living in the world. So my passion is to get this sort of personal development information that a lot of people don't really tap into until they've gone through a little bit of adulthood and realize that their dreams aren't coming to fruition the way they wanted to, and maybe get a little sad or tired of living life. I'd like to skip that growth period where you fall down and have to pick yourself back up and find all of this out for yourself, and really provide some personal development and some goal setting and some dreaming education to our kids. I don't think kids are asked, what type of life do you want to live when you grow up? They're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And that ends up defining them, because their father was an electrician and their father's father was an electrician, and they come from a long line of electricians. So yeah. That's really what I'd like to do. When money's not an issue and everything costs $1 for me, I want to make sure that kids are living their lives they want to and working towards their dreams instead of a job.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I am in education. This will be my 9th year, my 13th year in education, believe it or not. My 9th year at my job right now, which begins on the 21st. Yeah, don't ask why it begins on the 21st. But I think that having this, you got to become a doctor, you got to become a lawyer, you got to become a teacher mentality needs to go out the door. Needs to go out the door. Thank you. And people need to read Think and Grow Rich to have a bigger mindset, because doctors, lawyers, and teachers, even a great profession, they don't, especially teachers, they don't make enough money. They don't make enough money. So and I am one, and I shouldn't say that about my own kind here, but we don't make enough money. And so the doctors, the lawyers, the teachers' mentality has got to go out the door. Thank you very much. End of real soapbox here. And so if you had to be educated by anyone, who would it be and why, and what would you ask them?
I think if I had to be educated by anyone, so there was a study done on water, a water study with words and emotions, It was done quite a long time ago by Dr. Masasaru. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Dr. Masasaru Emoto. And I would love to be able to study underneath him, to learn what he's learned about emotions and positive and negative words and the effects that they have on something as seemingly unintelligible as water, because I find words very powerful. And I think that the work that he did to show that just through studies with water and rice and things like that are incredibly interesting, especially for the time that they were done in. So I would love to be able to go back and pick his brain and hang out with him and learn what he knows.
I'm surprised you didn't say Napoleon Hill. Because you're probably so sick of doing it. I'm like, she's not going to say Napoleon Hill, I know that. So, what is your biggest life achievement in all this? What is your biggest life achievement? Also, your biggest life regret?
I would say up until this point, my biggest life achievement has been breaking free from the clock in, clock out, JOB sort of world. I've had a regular bachelor's degree, classic education, but I really was looking into enlightenment and personal growth within the last 5 years. And it was very important to me to be able to decide what I do with my time and have control over my happiness. So I think that would be the thing I'm most proud of, is that I've been able to put myself in a position at this point in my life where I decide what I do, when I do it, how I do it, and I know that I'm the only person who can control my happiness and how I feel. And that takes, some people never get to experience happiness or even try to experience it. I find it. So I'm very grateful for having been around the people I've been around and the information I've been around, and for my desire and curiousness in, happiness and enlightenment and why we're here and our purpose. I feel like I'm still on that journey to finding my purpose, but I'm happy that I'm aware of it and I'm on the way.
So, do you work from home, or do you have a different setup, if you don't mind me being nosy and asking?
Sure, I do. I actually work from wherever I have internet or mobile data access. So a lot of times I do work from home. Sometimes I'll work from a hotel or from a beach. Honestly, wherever I get signal, that's all I need. I just need a phone or a computer and some internet signal.
Well, how cool is that? No, how cool is that with the access to the internet now? It's amazing what we can all do with 9 to 5 or with schooling or with anything now, because a lot of these, at least my university and a lot of these universities are making you go outside the classroom to Google stuff. I call it the University of Google. And we don't have the traditional textbooks anymore. We have the digital textbooks. We have the Google generation, and which I know sort of, I'm a later millennial. I was born in 87 to give away my age, but we have so many great opportunities here, and I didn't realize you worked with the team with Think and Grow Rich. So, have you had the opportunity to read Think and Grow Rich before you got the job, was that a job requirement?
It wasn't a job requirement, but I've been in sales for a long time before working with the Think and Grow Rich Films company. And almost anyone who's in a sales environment that wants to do well ends up reading, usually you start with Think and Grow Rich or How to Win Friends and Influence People. So I had read it a couple of times before working on the film.
Yeah. And then the film just, they hired you, and now you're here talking about it today. And so what would be your best advice for someone who is sitting in a cubicle and is not lucky like we are to live our own path? I say I'm lucky because I have a stable part-time job 1 day a week, and I should quit complaining about it, I know. But I always complain about the paycheck. But what would you say to a person who's sitting in that cubicle listening to the podcast, quietly, I hope, and they want to end the rat race and move on?
I would say that in this day and age, ignorance is a choice. We have, like you had touched on before, with the internet, we have so many resources available and so much information. And all you have to do is ask Google a question, or start researching or search some keywords. And lots of these books, since they were written so long ago, they're public domain. They're available for everyone. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is available in lots of places. There's many, many personal development books that are either available for free or to borrow from the library. I think personal development, even though it has the stigma of being a self-help book, it shouldn't be stigmatized that way. Learning about yourself, with learning information about how to look inside of yourself and find out what really makes you happy and what the human experience is about, is essential to getting out of the mindset that you have to work for someone else and build someone else's dream to get by, and that you have to work hard to make it, or that success only comes to a few people. There's so much money out there in the world. There's plenty of money for everyone to be prosperous, and it's right there. There's nothing stopping us anymore. All the information that we need is available if we're going to go look for it. So I would say, go look for what makes you happy.
Yeah, go look for what makes you happy. And as you guys know, I just got gifted. I say gifted because my dad wanted to do this for me. I just got gifted an e-bike, which is the funnest thing on the planet. I am not on it right now because I'm doing this podcast, but I am not getting on it until it quits raining. But I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And it arrived last Tuesday, so I agree with Quintana. Go find what makes you happy. And as we wrap up this interview, I always want to ask my guests if they have any questions to me about anything, and then I'll ask the same as Quintana if she has any questions to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's wonderful that you're a teacher, and one of the questions I had wanted to ask revolves around words, and the words we use with each other and the words that we use with ourselves. And I was wondering if you had any insight or personal experience as to how powerful the words that you speak inside of yourself, your self-talk and what you say to yourself in your own head, If you had any experience as to how powerful that can be or how it can change your life.
I do, and I'm a podcast junkie. I'm more of a podcast junkie than I am an Audible junkie. I should do the opposite end of perspective and actually get thinking globally on Audible now that I think about it. And so, I am a pretty positive person due to the way I think and because I'm around kids all the time, I am a positive person, even though if I'm having a bad day. I try to not show that to the kids because they will pick it up. And if I call myself, and I'm using this as an example, if I say I'm a dummy for doing something stupid and not paying attention, and I say that in the classroom, the kids will look at me like I'm nuts and then go home and potentially say to the mom and dad, Miss Lynn called herself a dummy. So I think that what we say to ourselves is quite powerful. And I think what we say to the kids is quite powerful. But as I said, the doctors, the lawyers, the teachers, stigma has got to go out the door. I mean, granted, I love my biological mom dearly, and my family knows this story. She came she immigrated here from the Bahamas, and she was born and raised in Canada. My family did very well in Caterpillar tractors, and yeah, I'm getting a windfall because of that quite literally here in the next couple months. But she still had that stupid stigma of you got to become a teacher, a doctor, or a lawyer. And she forced me to go into education. And it's like, Mom, why did you do that? But oh no, the day she died, I said, no, I'm not. I'm staying in education. I'm also getting a journalism degree while I'm in education. And then after I get my journalism degree, I'm quitting education and becoming a full-time journalist because I get a higher paycheck doing journalism and podcast coaching. So I think we got to nurture our kids and, of course, make them be thinking grow rich. And when they get older, listen to the audio version of it. But I think we got to nurture our kids and make sure they're healthy and happy human beings.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
So
yeah, I 100% feel your pain there with the mom and the things that are put upon us by our parents.
and mind you, this was my biological mom, my stepmom, and my biological dad truly support my degree in journalism, but the pressure that I was put under at the time, yeah. So, Mom, I love you, but if I had to do it all again, I would say no. I can
right. Let me be me.
Let me be me. But no, I wasn't that symbolic to say no. And so, do you have any more questions for me?
I don't have any questions. I appreciate you so much of course, the wonderful Danielle for reaching out to us and asking us to, have an interview with you and a conversation about this. I think it's important information, and if it helps even one person, it's worth getting it out there.
Well, you are so welcome. And I want to know, where can people find you? I almost said stalk you, but I know that's wrong term. So find you, and where can people find the foundation, and how could they contribute to the foundation?
Sure, absolutely. So you can find us. We're Think and Grow Rich Films. You can find the movie on Facebook by going and searching for Think and Grow Rich, The Legacy. That'll get you to our Facebook page where you can watch the trailer, and you can talk with other folks who've already purchased the film and have watched it. And it'll get you also, there's a coupon code if you send a message in to our Think and Grow Rich, The Legacy Facebook page. That'll help you get a little bit of a discount on the film. The Napoleon Hill Foundation, they can also be searched on Facebook, and you can find their Napoleon Hill Foundation page. And then their website is also naphill, NAPHILL.org. They take donations through their website, or you can contact their executive director for larger donations and things like that. Or if you have any questions about the publications from Napoleon Hill.
And as I said at the top of this phone call, I have a programming announcement. As I said, I go back to work on the 21st, work with my day job, but I go back to my journalism program tomorrow, and I'm still trying to figure that one out 24 hours before. But I would love you guys to financially support me so I could live my dreams, if that makes sense. But I am helping to launch another podcast as of October 1. I say we because I'm a member of this team now. We are launching a podcast about, I guess you would consider it a family journey with cerebral palsy, not my own. This is launched by a dear friend of mine, a mother and daughter team out of Denver, Colorado. And the child was adopted, and they're trying to bring more awareness into the able-bodied community about the disabled and living a rich and fruitful life. And it's going to be called the Shining Beautiful Podcast. And I say we because I'm a member of that team now. I never thought that this book would be turned into a podcast several years later. And so I'm excited. So I want you guys to support this journey along with me. I mean, these two have the most incredible story. I won't give it all away because I want you guys to listen to the podcast. But we are going to be interviewing people in Mikkel's community, her team, her caregivers, and we're actually getting an inside look at the disabled community and how we could all help the disabled. So I'm really excited. And I would love you guys to support not only my journey as a journalist, but this podcast as we pick it up and launch it and see where it goes. And then I would also like you guys to support this podcast financially so we can grow this podcast, and I say grow, no pun intended, to have people live their dreams and just live their dreams and possibly quit their 9 to 5. That's what my ultimate goal is to get everyone out of the rat race, including myself, even though a 9 to 5 job helps. We need to now focus on the bigger picture of making this world a more beautiful place. So enough of my programming announcement, and all that information, including Quintana's information, could be found in the show notes. And I want to thank Quintana for coming on and sharing her incredible message and sharing what she's learned. And as she said, go look up Napoleon Hill Foundation, and then you'll find more information about that. And go look up Think and Grow Rich at all these wonderful bookstores, and then you'll find more information about that. And thank you, Quintana, for coming on and sharing your story. And I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.